interview series. I'm excited to have you join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So to kick us off, could you tell us a little bit about you?
So my name is Samantha Langner. I go by Sam. I'm originally from Connecticut. I moved to Nashville in August of 2021. So I've been here for about a year and a half. Um, Moving here, I've always done everything in the beauty industry. I knew when I came to visit here that the beauty industry was huge. It'd be an amazing place to really excel and grow in what I do. And yeah, yeah.
So have you found now that you've moved to Nashville that you're finding opportunities to do that? I
Um,
know clients are interested in like your professional development and growth as a practitioner.
and connections, and you make connections with a ton of people, and you meet a bunch of other people. They're like, I didn't even know you. There's so many people here. There's so many things that, there's so many people that are very good at what they do and specialize in certain individual things. And that one person knows 20 people, and then that one person that you meet from those 20 people know another 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane. And I love how there's so many people doing lashes, there's so many people doing hair, but there's enough people for everybody. There's so many
Right.
people that and it's the camaraderie of everybody in Nashville is
Mm-hmm.
just amazing. I love it here. I love the people I know, and I love I've never had a dream clientele until I moved here, and I love my clients. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah,
I would agree with that. I think that's true about Nashville in many industries,
100%.
not just fashion and beauty. I think that's very true about, yeah, as you probably see, in
Yeah,
lots of
and I
places.
talk to my clients, everybody does something different. Either
Yeah.
there's a small business or they're running a whole sales corporation,
Hmm.
or they're it's so interesting to hear, like, and they're the coolest people. I mean, they're the really coolest people, and they really are just genuine. And I love that.
Yeah,
I love it here.
I agree. I love it here too. Great place to live.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. So what made you interested in your craft? What sort of, is there a particular point in life that you went, oh, I want to do this? Or, what sort of got you, what's your story?
So, back when I was around 14, 15 years old and I just went to high school, I was huge. It was when the beauty guru phase of YouTube was
Mm,
humongous. And I was obsessed. I would do my full face, do these crazy things, and eventually got older and people were like, can you do my prom makeup? And so I would turn my entire bedroom into like a little studio. I would push my bed to the side, make it look
oh,
like
wow.
put all the lights up. And so I had people cycling in and out, and I loved it. My family is they have no idea about the beauty industry. So when they saw me doing all this, they were like, this is a whole new world I didn't even know existed. So through life, then I went to college because that's what everybody else was doing.
Mhm.
So I wanted to go do it. I went for business. Um, my second year, first or second year, I think, I was like, I want to be able to work from my dorm and do lashes was starting to become a thing. And I was like, I
Mm.
want to learn how to do this. And at the time, I didn't have a cosmetology license. I didn't have a certificate, but in Connecticut, legally, you don't need to have a cosmetology license or anything, which is a little scary now I think about it. But um, so I took a 2-day one-on-one class with a girl who had her own little business doing lashes, and she taught me a ton, but I couldn't get my hands to work. I couldn't get both my hands to do anything. And I called my
Mm.
mom crying, and I hated it, and I couldn't do it, and it didn't make a difference. And throughout the years, my friends had always gotten them, and they would force me to do them because it was so expensive because there was so little
Mhm.
doing it. And I was like, don't tell anybody I do lashes. I hate doing them. I don't want to do Not even kidding. Um, Fast forward a little bit, went to cosmetology school, took a year off of college, went to cosmetology school because I was doing bridal makeup and people wanted me to do hair. So I was like, oh, I'll take an easy year. I'll go to hair school. Harder than 2 years of college. It was terrible. I'm
I can
surprised.
imagine. Yes.
It was tough. It's like going back to high school, it's
Mhm.
5, like, but it's Tuesday through Saturday. So I didn't have Monday through Friday. It was Saturday, and I hated it.
Mm.
But
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it was terrible high school. No, it wasn't that bad. But from being on a flexible schedule of college for 2 years to go do that, and I was also working a full-time job for my friend who had a company. It was rough, but got through that, ended up loving doing blonding and hair. So I worked at my first hair salon, and kid you not, this day I started, my boss was like, "I do lashes and I hate it. Um, I will literally give you all of my clients if you want them." And I said, "Okay," under one
Yeah.
condition. I said, "Let me try products. Let me play with products. Like, I can't afford to do that. Are you willing to like pay for me to try things and, you know, you use that as like an outlet for me to like actually enjoy it?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, 100%." And she did microblading at the time, so she wanted to
Yeah.
focus on that. And then I had a whole setup. I had the lights, I had the bed, and instead of doing it in a dorm room or in
Right.
somebody's bedroom bed and me sitting on the corner of the bed while they're laying back, I was like, this is nice. This is organized. I like this. I'm trying new products. This is working way better than the other. And then I just kept doing it. I finally found the products I loved, and I was retaining this huge clientele of lash clients that it just like it was like 50% hair and 50% lashes, and nobody in Connecticut at the time was really doing it. So it was like
Mhm.
I didn't even have to post. People knew Sam does lashes. Okay. Uh,
Right.
I moved here, and I didn't know if I wanted to be in the beauty industry, to be quite honest, anymore. I knew this place was great for it. To rebuild a clientele is one of the hardest things ever, especially if you don't have an established Instagram.
Right.
So, like I said, I was barely posting pictures. People just knew me. I had a huge clientele, but I had nothing to show for it. So I came here and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to find somewhere to start really quickly. Just take pictures, be consistent. Jumped from one salon to another. They wouldn't let me use the products I wanted. Then I found Gina with Slay Bay. It's a hair company. We're VIP. I still work with them part time.
Mhm.
VIP Bellamy Extension Salon. And she's a regional educator. So she said, "You can rent the extra solar room I have, and I will have you assist me for 3 months." So I was like, cool. I love that. I love learning from people. So
Mhm.
I assisted her, did lashes 2 days a week. I had all my clients from my other salon followed me. Thank God. Thank you, people.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
thank you, clients. But they all followed me. So I accidentally started my own lash business. And I was working 2 days because I couldn't afford more than 2 days to rent,
Right.
13 hours a day. I would get in at like 7:38 and leave by like 10 o'clock every day and not have one break.
Wow. That's a long day.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there-
Especially, I'm guessing this is pretty detailed work.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I sit in my car for 30 minutes, have my eyes readjust because I've been this close to people.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then eventually I met this sweet lady who was my client. She said, "I have a huge room in the back of this nail salon," and I was like, didn't know the fact, like know what was going on, and I wasn't loving the space. It was getting really cramped and small. So I came to see this place. This is the most gorgeous nail salon I've ever seen in all of Nashville, and this is where my studio currently is.
Mhm.
It's 20-foot ceilings, all black chandeliers, black and white checker print floors. It's called the Nail Bar in Green Hills.
Mhm.
It's stunning, and this back room is a little oasis. You don't even feel like you're in a nail bar. You feel like you're in my little like humble abode. Everything's very dim. Two little chandeliers in the wall, little sign, and it's serene and it's beautiful. And here we are now. So that was been my journey since I've
Yeah.
been here in Nashville. So
I
it's
love it. I
quite,
love it.
but
It's
we're here.
I love your journey because it's such an example of ups and downs,
Yeah,
about in twists and turns and how you think you're gonna go one way and then another way. And what I also love about your journey is that you're like, I don't want to do lashes. And
yeah.
then
No,
it like keeps popping up in your life over and over again.
see, I'm telling you, and I had this, thought maybe like 5 or 6 months ago because I was really going half and half with hair and lashes, and I said, I'm at the point where it's like, do I want to keep having two schedules and trying to organize two schedules, or do I want to put in 100% of my effort into one thing? And so now I do hair maybe once or twice a month for just my lash clients, but specifically my lash clients. And I only do lashes and I'm doing it 6 days a week. And I feel like I don't work a day in my life. And I love it. It's like clockwork for me. And it's like the hardest part is doing all the like ordering stuff and,
Yeah.
organizing taxes and
Yeah. Yeah.
the fun part. But literally doing my job, I could work 7 days a week and just be so happy. But I need a day to, organize other things. But
Yeah. Would you have ever thought years ago that you would be saying that today?
never. I never thought I would be doing lashes. B, I never thought being a year and a half into moving here, I would have my own business
Yeah.
and people actually be coming to my business and supporting my business.
Yeah.
I've always wanted since I was 14. And I'm like, in a year and a half, the opportunity in Nashville in general is insane. It's insane. And as long as you're a friendly person and you're kind and you make genuine connections, like you'll get there 100%.
I
Yeah.
love that comment. Being genuine, kind, that is just everything. And not only in business but in life, just being good to people. That's
100%. It'll come
I found that myself, with many, many scenarios and even traveling and I think that's everywhere. Just be a
yeah,
kind person, yes, to
100%.
others. After you've worked with a client, taking care of what you've done or, just sort of like tips of the trade, maybe.
Yeah. So if somebody was wanting to come get extensions, something I definitely recommend if you know what you want when you're coming into your appointment, 50% of people know what they want and 50% don't. I feel like it's a very fine line. It's either you exactly know what you want or you have literally no idea about lashes. You just saw somebody have them and you like them. So I always recommend if you know what you want and you know a style that you see on somebody that you like, to bring in like a reference picture or even bring in a strip lash you wear all the time. Bring in something so I can give you a recreated look that lasts 2 weeks and then you maintain that 2 to 3 weeks. Or if you don't know what you want, or even if you do know what you want, I'll do an in-depth consultation with you to understand, let me look at your eye shape. Okay, so I'm seeing that your eyes are a little downward turn. Let's do a wing. Your eyes are, let's brighten your face and do a doll eye, which is longer in the middle. And then it basically follows your natural lash shape. So, I've done everything from just making it look like expensive mascara, I like to say,
Mhm.
classic, the classic sets, and then all the way to mega volume where it looks like you can fly away with just your lashes. And people love it. I used to get them like that. And I wish I could do them right now, but I can't do them myself. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
um, definitely that. And, they're really easy to maintain. I mean, when you're first getting them, it seems like a huge thing because you got to wash them and you got to make sure you're not sleeping on them and you can't put oil. But if you're used to them, some people wear them for 4 years straight. You get into the
Mhm.
routine. I say just keep your lash wash in the shower, a half pump on each eye. Boop, 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 boop.
Mhm.
Rinse them as long as it's not scalding hot water. And that's it. You let them air dry, brush them with a dry spoolie, and go to bed. I sleep on my face, and I still had extensions, and they were
Mm.
fine. So you can work out still. You just want to wash them after you sweat. The only thing that breaks the bond of the glue is an oil. So that goes for your natural oils. That goes for any skincare products. So if you're putting skincare products, you want to go around the orbital bone of your eye,
Mhm.
and when it absorbs, it'll absorb deeper. But
So what
uh,
about makeup? Like, because makeup can have a
yeah,
little bit of that. How about how do you deal with makeup in the lashes?
yeah, so you definitely want to, if you're wearing bottom mascara, which honestly I'm not a big fan of because I think if the top mascara, it actually opens your eye a lot more.
Mhm.
Some people are just used to bottom mascara. So you want to get an oil-free mascara. If you go to your Ulta or your Sephora, it's very popular lashes now, so I'm sure they can help you, or you can just Google it. A lot of actual lash brands have an oil-free mascara that are relatively priced in the middle of prestige and drugstore. So that's the biggest thing. Any other makeup is totally fine. I just recommend that if you're wearing makeup on a daily basis, you wash your lashes every day. if you're not wearing makeup as much and you're not an extremely oily person,
Mhm.
you can wash it every other day, but still every day is recommended for the best retention. Um, like I said, the only thing that breaks the bond is going to be oil. So unless you're pulling at them or tugging them or playing with them, you should have at least a 2.5 to 3 week retention.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I like the tip of maybe bringing in the glue on to give an example. I thought that
Yeah,
was a great tip of this is what I like or how I yeah.
your eyebrow and I look and I curve it to the shape of their eye
Uh-huh.
and I just follow it like it would sit on their eye. And it's the same thing. I mean, because the first time I came here, I saw a girl in the waiting room at the salon I worked at. I said, "Are those extensions?" And she said, "No, they're strips." And I go, "I used to wear strips for 4 years and I got extensions and I had them do it like my strips. I'd love to just do it on you. I'll give you a discount to try
Mhm.
to do that strip lash." She's like, "Okay." She still comes to me today after being
Wow.
in Nashville. This is the first salon I worked at over a year and a half ago, and she still comes to me every 2 weeks.
Wow. So
Or
why do you think that is? Because it sounds like you have clients that follow you, that you seem to build a clientele pretty quickly. What is it that what is their experience with you?
it's the experience being here or the experience of having lashes?
With you, working with you. If I was to say, here's Sam, and you should work with her because, what would be the because?
So I like to say, well, this is a fact. I mean, I've researched the Nashville market for lashes a lot, and everybody specializes in one specific style, whether that's like a mega
Okay.
volume or a classic. I try to work with every eye shape and every technique and every style because I want it to be that customized to that person. So if somebody walks in and per se specialize in mega volume and that's not exactly what they want, I'm not going to be able to give them the best service because it's all I do.
Mhm.
So I'm able to do from the very, very bare bones of classic where it almost is the exact length of your lash with just a black extension with a little more curl to give you a literal mascara look to all the way to um, the mega volumes. You can have whatever you want, however you want your eye shape to be. And I working with me, I'm very oversharing. So I will tell you from the glue to the tape I use to the lashes I use to the length of the lashes and which ones are on everybody's eye. I only say that because I want people to be educated in what's going on.
Mhm.
So if somebody comes in the first time, I've just seen them, and I'm like, okay, let's do a classic set. We'll do a little wing on the outer corner to like elongate your eye. And they come in 2 weeks and they're like, I really liked it. I just think that I don't really like the wing as much. I'm like, okay, so you want to go? She's like, oh, okay, I want to go 2 millimeters shorter because I told her last time it gives you a gauge of like,
Mhm.
instead of saying, I want to go shorter, okay, well, what is that? That's a big, okay. So I wrote down all your lengths. This is what we had. We want to go a millimeter, 2 millimeters. How much shorter? How much longer? We can precisely determine what you like and didn't like until you get the perfect set and we just maintain from there. That's what I love to do. Some people are not that picky, some people are, and that's totally fine. You're paying for it, you're allowed to be picky. Like,
Right, right.
you're allowed.
Yeah.
um
I
so
love that. Yeah,
yeah,
I love that. I'm certainly that type of client. I like to know what is going on my face, what is exactly being used.
100%.
I like to be educated, and you're right, so that I can actually even have a better conversation with you about here's where it was, here's what I'd like to do, and I feel like I would get a better outcome if I know what's actually happening.
Communication, you feel like you can
Mm-hmm.
actually like have a conversation about it instead of being completely in the dark about,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to communicate to her that this inner corner is a little too long. You say, "Oh, I
Right,
don't really, it's poking me." Okay, well, this is what we had for millimeter. Do you want to go the shortest? Yeah, okay.
right,
You know,
right.
um, and there's it's a double-edged sword to overshare. Everybody wants to try different glue, a different tape, and I'm really secure in the products I have because for the past 6 years I've been trying to play with a million different things, and I'm very confident in the that I do use now. So it really just comes down to really style and shape. Um, and yeah, I love being able to do something different on everybody. It keeps the day different and exciting, and it's like clockwork to me. So I
Yeah, and
love
it sounds like to me too that you, because you do a lot of different things, and although
it.
you have a specialty, but you do a lot within the specialty, that you're probably able to be flexible and learn new things very easily. So
Right.
as new technologies come out in the future and ideas and trends, and that you're able to actually probably do that fairly quickly for your clients, I would guess.
Percent. And there's a lot of places here that do lashes that also do brows and facials and all that. And one person does all these things. And I've done that my whole life. But then I realized if I just focus literally just on lashes, nothing more. There's a new trend coming around. It's called angel lashes. And I've been doing this for classic lashes because I hate classic lashes forever. But now it's a trend. And you can make them. I didn't even think about this, but you can make them as dramatic or as light and airy as you possibly can. And I jumped on that trend, and I've already done a photo shoot for it, and I've already posted content about it, and it's come out maybe a month ago. That's an actual thing now. So it makes me learn easier and quicker and be with the trends right on time, because lashing is not like hair. It's not like, facials where there's so many chemically things that could go wrong. There's very few amount of things that can go wrong, and it's essentially the same thing on everybody's eye, just to fit their own eye shape. So if you have an artistic eye, and I've been doing makeup since I was 14, so
Mhm.
I could see what works with people's eye and what doesn't, and that's what makes it 10 times easier for me, is because I've been doing that with makeup my whole life. Now I just have to apply a lash, and it makes it so much easier, and it makes learning easier, and it makes just doing my job and talking to people and being with people the best part of my job.
Yeah, more perspective, more
Right.
perspective. So I have a fun question, informative question.
Yeah.
Do you have a life words of wisdom to share with people?
I would say if you are doing a million things and you don't know what direction to go in, definitely focus on one specific thing for a long period of time, whether that's 3 months, a month, and then determine what you want to do. Because you can't be focused on four different things that are
Mhm.
maybe in the same industry, and then put your 100% into that one thing. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm only getting somewhere right now because I put my 100% effort into lashing. And that's why it's been 6 years of me getting to this point. But my head's focused on one thing, and it really truly is. When you put your 100% into one thing, you'll watch it grow so rapidly and quickly.
Yeah, you're right. Niches, and also if you put your 100% into one thing and you absolutely hate it, then it's not that.
There's that.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we sign off?
Um, I definitely think, do what you love to do, and put your 100% into it. And if it feels like a chore at the end of the day, it's not for you. Um,
Mhm.
and if you want to go and do a million things, that's how you start. That's how you get the feeling for it. But if you really see that one thing and you're like, that's what I want to do, put your 100% into it, and you're gonna watch. If you have the drive and the motivation to stick behind it and grow with it, um, you'll be able to be a business owner and eventually,
Mhm.
hopefully, expand and do everything that all these other companies are doing.
Mhm.
Anybody can do it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, closing us out to our listeners, if you would like to learn more about Sam or book an appointment, you can reach her at QUPstyle.com. The link is listed in the comments of this post. And thank you, Sam. This was very informative, and we appreciate you being here and all the expertise you've shared today.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.